So again with the rectangle, the length is 6 less than 4 times the width. Okay, so that's all we know. The perimeter measures 158 feet, was the length and the width. Okay, so again, we know that opposite sides are equal or congruent. Good geometry word. We add up all the sides. And we get 4 and 4 is 8, 9, 10. 10W minus 12 will equal 158. Okay, we've solved this enough times now. I'm just going to let you know that W would equal 17 and the length would equal 62. And the measurements were feet. Got to do that. All right, on 12 and 14 are basically the same kind of problem. You're distributing and combining like terms. We have an understood 1 in front of this parenthesis, an understood -1 here. So when we distribute 1 times everything, we just end up with 8y squared minus 2y plus 8. Here we distribute the -1 times everything, and we get -y squared minus 7y plus 9. Combining like terms, 8 minus y, 8y squared minus 1y squared would be 7y squared. -2y minus 7y is -9y. And 8 plus 9 is 17. Okay, simplify this expression. 2/3 gets distributed. +1 gets distributed. So we end up with 2x minus 10y plus 9y minus 11x. Like terms, 2 minus 11 is -9x. -10 plus 9 is -1y. A candy company sells chocolate-covered cherries in a box. The empty box weighs 4.2 ounces. Each piece of candy weighs at least 1.8 ounces. Which inequality best describes the total weight in ounces W of a box of chocolate-covered cherries in terms of C, the number of candies in the box? Okay, so if we've got a box that's 4.2 ounces, we're going to start off with 4.2. And then we're going to add 1.8 at least for each candy, right? So we look over here. That says the same thing, just they went 1.8C plus 4.2. This has a minus, so we're decreasing. This says we're going to change the 4.2. We're going to multiply it by the number of candies, but that makes no sense at all. And that one says the same thing. So A is the only viable option. Number 13. For what value of y is -3y a solution for 6x minus y equals -8? Okay. Traditional method for doing this is we replace the x with -3 because it's a solution. Okay, and then we solve. We simplify and solve. We get -y equals 10. So we divide by -1. And y equals -10. Okay. But that's how we did it when we first started. And I want to propose something to you. We know that that equation, oops, that would be 1, that would be 0 there. Okay, we know that that equation right here, 6x minus 1 equals -8, is a linear equation, which we can graph on our calculators. Okay, so let me do a quick doc B here. All right, so on my calculator, on my graph, I can enter the standard form there, but I can change it. Menu 3, 2 for equation, 1 for line, and 3 for standard form. And then I can input my coefficients. There wasn't a 1 there, but it was minus y, so I have to put in -1. And then I had -8, and I hit enter. Okay, and so it's a solution. That means it's a point on the line. So if I trace my line, which is menu 5, now I usually go ahead and say trace step and change it to 1 because I want whole numbers. I don't want it to give me any fractions. That's entirely up to you. And then I go back and do menu 5, 1 to actually trace it. Okay, so I'm at negative 1.33. I know negative 3 is going to be this way, so I'm going to move to the left. And it tells me negative 3 is at negative 10, which is what I got by solving. Okay, so either one of those methods would work. All right. 16, the graph below best represents which of the following relationships between temperature and time. Okay, now they can give you a lot of variety down here, so one thing you want to look for is, you know, we're not starting at 0, we're starting at a positive number. Okay, we're increasing, we're having a constant here where it's flat, and then we're decreasing, and then we're having a constant here at the end. Okay, so we look at our choices. We increase, decrease. That's not enough. We decrease first. Oops, that doesn't match. Okay, it remains at a constant temperature the whole time? What? No, I don't think so. We saw it moving. Okay, so then we have increased, constant, then it cooled slowly, so that's going to be our decrease, right? And then constant. So J is the best fit. Okay, 17. Which of the following relations is a function? Well, we know in a function x cannot repeat. So we just look at our x's, negative 3, negative 1, and 1, all are unique. 1, oh, look, 1 over here, so that's not. 9, then 3, then negative 1, all are unique, and then negative 1, negative 3, oh, negative 1 right there. So that one's not. So it's 1 and 3, which is answer choice B. Okay. Number 19, a student was given the equation y equals negative 8/7 x plus 2 to graph. What is an equivalent function? Okay. All they're asking us here is rewrite this as a function. So all that needs to happen is that y becomes f of x, and everything else stays the same. Okay. And then I skipped number 18, so we'll go back up. What is the domain and range? Okay, domain is our x values, range is our y values. Remember our little chart that we've done, Dr. XY needs his ID. Okay, so that helps us to remember that domain, x, and independent are the same values. Our range, y's, and domain dependent are talking about the same values. Okay, so here that value is negative 3. Over here we have the value of 6. So our domain goes from negative 3 to 6, and then we look, and negative 3 is actually included because it was colored in, but 6 is a whole, so it was not included. So we say that negative 3 is less than or equal to x, but just less than 6. Okay, we do the range similarly, but we have to change it up because the range is the y values. So we're going from one end to the other. We always start with our lowest value, so we go from negative 1 up to 5, and again the 5 is colored in, so it's included, it's equal. At negative 1 we're not included, so no line. Okay, alright, that ends day 1. So now we want to look at day 2 of our review. Y is a function of x. Okay, that statement right there tells us y depends on x. So I look down here and it says dependent y, independent y. Well, that's wrong. Dependent x. Nope. Independent x. That's a possibility. Okay. Then we look at the next part of the statement. Y is 9 more than half of x. Y is 9 more than half of x. Hey, that's a match. I think we found our answer. Let's check the other one. This one says x is, so x equals 9 more than, we're going to add 9 to half of y. That is not a match, so it's not J either. F is the only one that makes sense.